Hello and welcome to my spare room. As Charles might say, always welcome, always spare, sometimes my room. Or as Big Pay might say, hello.
Hello!
Now, I've done a few videos before, but this is the first episode of the new show that we're doing, which is the Cardano Hereafter Party. And basically, it's a show we're going to cover a lot of gossip. And there's plenty of gossip going around, whether it's on Twitter or whatever. There's lots happening always. Any up and coming changes, like for example, I'm going to discuss the K parameter today, but there's all sorts of breaking changes that are always happening for SPOs and for delegates. So it's just to keep you all informed. And I'm going to have some SPOs on to discuss the sort of philosophical side or the political side of whether it's the Cardano guidelines or the protocol itself and what it's incentivizing us to do. But also, I just want to poke fun at people. We're here to have a laugh, right? So we're here to have fun. So what we're going to be covering today is the K parameter, the current change. You're probably hearing that a lot, but I'm just going to cover it just so everyone knows. Multipools seems to be a hot topic for a lot of people. Some people say it's fine, some people not so much. So I'm going to discuss that a little bit for you, and you can get both sides of that. And there's advertising your pool, which has been very hot in literally the last couple of days. I know Big Pay's been spearheading this one. So let's just discuss what all that's about, really. So first of all, the K parameter. All you really need to know is K at the moment is at K150. Now, what that means is the saturation point of a pool is just over 200 million ADA. Now, that is changing to K500 as of the 6th of December, I think it is. But what that means to you as a delegator is that saturation point of a pool is reducing down to about 63 million ADA. So if you've got your ADA delegated to a pool that's got more than that, you're actually losing rewards. So I suggest that you move to a much smaller pool, probably not to go one that's near saturation already because there's going to be a lot of overflow. So I would look for a pool with a lot of space. And also you're giving them a break too. They're going to remember you. Reach out to them at the same time. They'll be happy to know who you are. And, you know, if you want questions for them, you've got to ask them. So, you know, why didn't you perform this epoch? Or, you know, what kind of setup have you have? What do you have in case XYZ happens? You know, it's always really good to be in contact with your SPO. And they're there to ask questions. They want to help you. And they want to build that relationship with you. But check out this graph. This is probably the best visual representation of how your rewards drop off as you reach certain milestones in saturation for your pool. So have a look at where your pool at, and you can see your rewards. If you're in a really saturated pool, your rewards are dropping off a cliff, as you can see. Now I'd like to move on to multiple pool owners. So that's SPOs with more than one or two or three pools. So I'm going to pick on Big Pay again, just because he seems to have more pools than Waterworld at the moment. He's just launched his 6th pool. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, for many, it's a business and it's supply and demand. And so their point of view is the protocol allows it, then they're incentivized to do so. And there's nothing stopping them from doing that. I know Big Pay was boasting the other day that he was producing 1% of all the blocks. So, I mean, firstly, kudos to him for supporting the network to that level. But for many, that causes a bit of a problem. So I've been literally inundated, absolutely inundated with 3 messages. Now, I've got BRTHE Stake Pool that says decentralization is the goal. Multiple pools is the wrong direction. And this is why other currencies like EOS is failing with something like 4 nodes supporting the whole network, and then you can get bad actors taking over a large percentage of the network and just shutting it down. I've got a message from Farm Stake Pool that says there may not even be a bad actor. It could just be they go ill and therefore they can't manage all those pools and something could go wrong. Now there's Straight Stake Pool, who is a Cardano ambassador and a moderator. His concern is Sybil attack and network resilience. As many of these multiple pools are using shared relays, and if they black out, that affects chain density, and that affects everyone. So there are multiple sides to this, whether it's just business practice, on the other side, people saying greed. But as the delegator, only you decide who succeeds or who doesn't. So, if you're happy with what Big Pay's doing, then you can keep filling up his pools. If you really want to go in a different direction, there's plenty of stake pools to choose from. And there are some big ones who don't have multiple amounts of pools. But yeah, so that's a discussion I'm going to carry on. I'm going to get some SPOs and some ambassadors in to talk about this, because it's a really big topic, and there's quite a lot of facets, and everyone's got their own little angle of where they come from. So as a delegator, you should be aware of your argument and, be ready to sit on your side of the fence, really, and defend it at the same time. The last thing I actually want to cover now is the advertisements of stake pools in Cardano channels. Now, for a long time, since Shelley's release at least, Cardano have had a blackout, no advertising of stake pools in their channels. Now, these is controlled by moderators. Now, these moderators are Cardano ambassadors and also stake pool owners. So many people feel this is a conflict of interest, as literally you're controlling, as a stake pool operator, what your competition get to show about their pool, which on the surface seems fair enough. But these rules do exist for Cardano ambassadors and all SPOs. And it's been the rule that in any channel, or almost any channel, you cannot advertise. There are some channels that you can advertise in, so like your introduction in the forum, for example. So I'm not going to waste too much time on that. That's for you to decide. I'm open for debate on this, and we'll get more on this probably in a couple of weeks' time. So this is the end of today's show, the Cardano Hereafter Party. Next time, I'm going to have a few guests on, and we're going to talk some real in-depth subjects, and hopefully be amusing too. So please stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe and delegate to small pools. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.